12-hour shifts, so.
It may be through the weekend, so.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, thank you for looking out for the people that need your help. It's a it's a really important thing to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right.
Are physicians on staff at night too?
Yeah, we have a full-time physician, nurse, radiology tech, and then a front desk.
Oh, you got a radiology tech, so you probably send it to radiology right after. That makes sense.
Yeah. And mostly everyone who goes through there wants radiology for some reason.
What's your next plan once you get your degree?
Well, we're currently in the process of building a coffee shop in Livingston.
Very nice.
That's awesome. So that's why I'm taking this for business purposes, just to, get my head around the business.
You got the entrepreneur professor. Not that many professors actually have a business, believe it or not.
Do you have a business?
Of course. I'm a real estate broker, so I have a real estate agency.
Okay. Oh,
so
nice.
That's what I do 24/7. I teach because I love it. Not many professors have businesses, so the fact that I'm hopefully giving you some value so you can.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, you have.
So we'll be joined by our classmates. Let's see. Let me know if you're in. Oh, actually, let me know if you're in. I don't have to type it anymore. So I sent him the link. And I'll type in link. At the beginning, we're just going to do some housekeeping. We'll call that housekeeping. Which is like, hey, I'm sure everybody's going to be like, grades. Are you going to ask me about grades? I'm surprised you didn't.
Oh, me? I've noticed like they'll, put them up when they can. So
they will be up next week, but I'm going to make a deal with the class because it's going to be up. But I'm also going to have this lecture won't be the lecture for next week. For this week. This is going to be the week that I give people makeups. So I'll talk about that. This is the lecture that's going to be for the next week. So I just record it, and then I'll get stuff from you, from the class, the quiz questions, right? But then we'll put that for next week. I forgot there's 5 of them, but we'll never really hit the 5th one. So.
Oh, 5 left. 5 what?
5 parts.
Oh, okay.
There's a 5th part. Completely forgot there's a 5th part. I don't know why I thought it was. So it's not the second to last. It's just the 4th from last, I guess.
Okay. I know. Time's flying.
Some semesters I don't hit 5.
Oh, okay.
Funny. But it's good because we're talking about group decision making. So understanding group dynamics is where we'll start. And let's see, class. You guys should all be here. In. Let me check the analytics here on how many people. 10 viewers. Perfect. So everybody's hearing me. Can everybody say hi on WhatsApp so I can see that you're here? Are you here? Let's see. In.
Might be a delay.
It's a little delayed, yeah. Your internet is perfect, by the way, Victoria. It's really, really crisp and clear. I think your parents pay for really good internet.
I hope so.
I really think so.
Like going in and out. So.
Oh yeah. So you're trying. So overall class, those who are saying hi, perfect. This is Victoria, and we'll again start over again. Like when we'll start like so in about 3 minutes, we'll start the whole class where I'm like, hey, good evening, class. And then I'll ask you all the questions again because those are for the people later, right? But overall, I'm going to go through the housekeeping real quick because it's part of the concentration. And then we'll go hit these objectives. And that's it. And again, you will let me know who has the best discussion among here and on the group discussion later because that'll be part of the grading. But this won't be this week. It'll be for next week. So you won't even, from 2 weeks from now, you'll have to do some work.
Okay.
Believe it or not, if you're caught up, I don't know how well you're caught up, you won't even have work to do until 2 weeks. So,
okay.
So there you go. All right, guys. So we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Good evening, classes. Professor Puente, and I have one of your classes, Victoria, here. How you doing, Victoria?
Hello, everyone. It's kind of weird being on here, but
Hey, welcome to the classroom and
Yeah.
the virtual classroom. And overall, thank you for, she's done a little bit of sacrifice and she's traveled to her parents' house. So, and gotten great internet there. I really appreciate it, Victoria, because people don't know this. This is brand new. And because I work in a virtual team environment, I have a global team, believe it or not, in my company. And I teach them something called technological responsibility. And what does that mean? That means that in the world, in the office world, you get in a car, you leave to work, and when you get to work, responsibility starts for the company to give you good internet, to give you good equipment, etc.
Yeah.
Your responsibility is to get to work, right? It's the burden on you. The burden's on you to get to work, right? So what happens when you tell your boss, traffic was heavy, I'm so sorry? What does that mean?
That you can't really help not being there on time, but
it's on your
once
burden.
you do get to work, you should, I don't know, start working. And
Exactly. But it's your burden to get there on time, no matter if it's traffic or not, right?
Right.
Exactly. Well, in the online education, in the online businesses, the virtual businesses, your responsibility is to have good internet, good technology, good. So you don't really get to say, well, I couldn't do it. Do you see what I mean? Because it's the same thing as getting to work. It's like,
you should have left earlier, or
exactly.
Go to my parents' house. So.
Exactly. So you did such a good job. Good work in class. Learn from this. When you're online, obviously, I don't expect you to go to class because there's no class to go to. But you try to make sure that the burden, that you feel that burden, that you're even saying sorry, that because people now in the future, in the millennial world, technology is everything. So you should get a better computer. You should get better internet. That's the way it works. It no longer is the excuse. So that's good. So that's definitely good. On that sense, guys, you guys are probably wondering grades. Some of you are wondering grades, and you can say amen on the on the WhatsApp. I'm going to be working on the grades. I try to work on them this week. I am filled up this week coming out of spring break, believe it or not, to talking to some of you. But I'm going to make a deal. Next week will be makeup week. So we will not have anything. Actually, I'm so sorry. This week is, right now, because we're doing the live class, it's makeup week. So this is the last week of March. Remember that in the video. The last week of March will be makeup week. That means you could do everything for 70%. So all the discussions, all the quizzes, you could do for 70% of the grade, okay? This is what you get. There will be another time you'll get this right before the final, and that's it, okay? Why do I do this? Why do you think I do the 70%, Victoria?
Because the first responsibility was to do everything on time and, have everything done at the correct week. So, you're being gracious enough for us having a makeup week. So.
And what's funny is 1 year I did 100%. So what happened was people didn't do their work. Then on, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till the makeup week. So that was my fault. I adjusted. So now it's like, okay, then 70%. So now it still gets people to do their work on time. Okay. That does mean that I grade about twice of the semester. I'm gonna grade now because the only reason I'm grading now is because so people can see about the drop date, so they can calculate if they want to drop or not. Definitely is a decision. So funny, decisions class. That's all I have to do is make decisions. But most of you should be fine, especially if you've been coming here. This is gonna be the honor side of the class, I believe. You guys are on top of it, and I think you should be okay. If you have any questions after you know your grades, which is next week, so you know your grades, through do your makeup. Understand, guys, I can't grade anything until I get the makeup work, because obviously I have to grade it too. So at the end of that week is when I plan to have grades. You'll know it right before the other grades. I know you, Selena, said you're a little blurry, but I think that you'll be okay with the audio for now. It should adjust. It should record fine, guys, by the way. But at the end of those grades, you have the grades. You can make a decision to stay or not. Most of you should be able to stay, and that's it. We do have projects coming up. Projects is something that I need you guys to divide into teams, okay? The team that doesn't come to live class is probably going to be one team on their own. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys. So right now, the people on WhatsApp that kind of interact with me, you're going to divide into teams. I think it's going to be teams of 2 or 3. And I'll make that adjustment maybe sometime this week where I ask you guys to kind of divide on your own. But according to those teams, I'm going to give you an assignment. You're going to do it together. And one of you, your chosen one, could be a captain, will come just here, just like Victoria, and we'll go over your presentation together, just like this. Except I'll be the guest. And the person doing the lecture will be the lecturer, right? So real simple, I'll give you a topic. The lecturer is the team captain. That person, he or she, will kind of assign the people what to get on the presentation, and I will just put in my input after them. So that's really the project. All right. Do you have any questions, Victoria, on that?
That's next week, right?
So on the projects, I think I'm gonna make it this week too. That you guys divide into teams. You'll see on the module. I'll still have a module for the project, and I'll ask you guys to kind of assign yourselves. So I'm really gonna make 3 or 4 teams. I'm trying to divide I think it'll be 4. Anyone in D2L that doesn't interact here will have to be in one team. That's going to be totally, but the other will just divide themselves into 3. So you guys may want to know how to divide yourselves. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. Maybe I'll just make a sign up list and you guys will sign up. And what I may do is also put in the assignment already, like which assignment. And again, you're analyzing a decision using this concepts on the chapter. Okay. So any questions there, guys? Shoot it through WhatsApp. I think that was the talk that we needed to go through. We'll begin on the chat on objective 25, right, Victoria?
Yep.
And a little bit about you, Victoria, if you don't mind. You say you work at an ER?
Yes, I work in Atascocita mainly at a first choice emergency room.
Okay.
I'm a patient access representative. So basically, when patients come in, I verify their insurance and send them back to the nurse and doctor. And I'm going to school for business administration. Hopefully transferring to U of H in the next year or so. Okay. Just moved to Livingston, Texas, if anyone knows where that is. It's 45 minutes north of Houston. I don't know. That's about it. Just kind of
business administration. So what's funny is I have been assigned informally an e-commerce class at UH. So maybe I'll be seeing you again. Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully they have online classes because driving down there would be a 2-hour drive.
It would be very difficult, I know. And they're all working. UH is working on their online system. I'll tell you guys, online is something that big, like 4-year universities do not really appreciate, but I try to push it. I'm like one of the few professors that definitely pushes online education, but I think I may be your only one because everybody else is on the other side of the camp. I have yet to meet one professor to say I prefer online education over face-to-face. But their you know what the main complaint is, Victoria?
What's that?
That they don't interact with their students.
I know. I was thinking that too. I'm actually taking 3 online classes, and this is like the most interactive course I've taken online. And it's like every other professor, not all of them, but a few was like, "Oh, read this chapter," and then that's it for the week.
And then throw it at me, right? And then just let me know, right? Well, I'll tell you this: you guys have been really wonderful interaction-wise. This class overall, this has been one of my best. And you guys appreciate it. Some other classes complain about it. They're like, hey, I just wanted to do my essay. But I really feel it's because I divided it into those who want to do this and those who just want to just kind of read up, So in this case, that was a little bit of a difference. My brother lives in Livingston. Carrie, look real close by. Hey, Brian Smith is in Livingston. Wow, Brian. Who knows? You may be a neighbor. My best friend got his bachelor's degree online. Okay, good to hear, Johan. I know where Livingston is. I'm from Madisonville. That's not far away, right?
I'm not sure where Madisonville is. It might be by Woodville. I'm not sure.
I'm sure it's by it's halfway between Dallas and Houston because I pass it all the time.
Okay.
It's so fun. Completely agree. This is the Multi-Net class. Thank you, guys. I think Selena had a question. I love this kind of online class. Great, Selena. I'm actually hoping to submit a proposal for a presentation about it on Tampa to try to introduce it to the United States. So this is how rare these things are. They're not that many of this kind. Selena had a question on the project that was the very top. I will answer it. So we pick our own teams for the project. I think it wasn't Selena, it was Johan. I think what I'm going to do is throw the assignment up and you guys choose, yes. So it'll be like, and the first person to claim themselves captain, they can do that. Or maybe, no. I think I'm gonna assign a captain. And I think I'm gonna do it with, I know who's got the time and such, because that's, the captain definitely will have to put in the time. So let's see, this has been class that requires a live class. It's been my only class. Yes, Marlon, there's no one else. And I don't require it. I have to put a thing. I don't require it. This is you guys wanting to do it this way. Because really this is the alternative, is the other way, right? Objective 25. So let's begin on this. Understanding group dynamics. Okay, so I actually work in a team base, actually, a global team for my company. And I've hired people from the Philippines and Mexico. And I deal with them daily, just like this, just like I'm dealing with you, believe it or not. And it has been quite a ride. Different things, different cultures. So I got to be careful. But at the same time, it's definitely up this alley on this chapter. So let's go what a group is. Group is made up of 2 or more people who interact with each other. What do you think about that? Very, very obvious, right?
Very obvious.
Very obvious. All right. So, but the way that people work and interact with each other is known as group dynamics. Okay. Do you think a marriage couple have group dynamics?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they have to work together just like any other like business group. Their task is working on their marriage as a couple. So
there you go.
Yeah,
Family.
They do have dynamics. And
there you go. So group dynamics in this course is all about business. It's funny enough that there's the business of marriage too, right? So it kind of fits into that. But right? Organizations are embracing group projects and teamwork for the following reasons: diversity, rich experience base, enhanced organizational memory, error detection, more creative solutions, a greater acceptance of decisions. So this is the sub part of this group project of the reasons. These are the reasons of that group projects, right? Diversity gives a group more varied perspective. What's the most diverse group you've ever worked in? That you
the most diverse? Probably where I work now. I mean, you've got different levels of expertise. I work with doctors, nurses, and then you have radiology, which they totally work differently from nurses, you know. But at the end of the day, to take care of a patient, they all have to work together. And I agree with that. On that level, it's very educational wise, maybe.
I agree with that. Now, with that said, rich experience base. You're dealing with different kinds of experiences. You're dealing with physicians that went to medical school. You're dealing with nurses that have gone through their nursing school, right? And then, you're dealing with people that haven't really gotten to that. Let me ask you, do you see different experiences as in based on how they think and how they interact?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say I'm the, patient access. I deal with patients. Yeah, I have no medical life. And then, doctors, they've been doing this for years and years, but, and they can see a wound or something and know exactly what happened, exactly what to do. And I can see something and freak out and, don't know what to do. So, yeah, definitely I see that.
Good. So you see a rich experience base in your work. Enhanced organizational memory. So you work in this group in this ER, and I thought you were perfect for this objective, by the way. Do you see that your group has not memory, but organizational memory, where each part knows what to do at one point, at one time.
Yeah, I mean, nursing is basic. You can't, do alternatives for nursing or treating something. Everything is by the book. You can't change what to do or how to do it by being a nurse, I guess. Or, so I mean, they do have memory from
their procedures, right? From their procedures, from their. Did you know that there's something called the nursing model and there's something called the medical model? Did you know that? So yeah, actually, a nurse will see something differently than a medical doctor will see it, and it's called the two different models. One is a lot more hands-on, So the top of the nursing procedure, like a nurse practitioner, let's say, they still want to be hands-on, while the medical doctor has a little more of a research background, a lot more. And so they both have their uses, but the way they have their memory, their organizational memory, is a little different. Yeah. So error detection. Who in your ER in your group do you feel like detects errors easier, doctors or nurses?
I'd say nurses.
And I think I agree. Why? They're more hands-on, right?
Yeah, they're way more hands-on, and they do so much more than doctors, which I give nurses props. Like, I could never be a nurse. But, the doctor will come in, determine what he needs to do, but, the nurse can see little things that the doctor doesn't, so.
And you see, that's their model. Their model is very detailed based. Even though the medical doctor should be about details, but they're more about speciality. So they actually concentrate on the little niche they know. The nurse knows it all, the whole system. So, and that's what they have to just kind of do. And each one is known to catch errors, but the nurse would catch it more because they're more hands-on about it. So I do agree with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Creative solutions. So when you're in a group environment, you have this diversity. So you want people to kind of bring their ideas, and you kind of work here, there. That's definitely important, especially in this excellent source of ideas when it comes to diversity. If you all think alike, then you don't bring new things, right? So, and we'll go to just the class in a little bit to see their points. Greater acceptance of decisions and outcomes. When someone's involved in the decision-making process, they're more likely to accept and support its outcome. What does that mean? That means that if they came to you and they say, hey, I think we're gonna actually open up the ER a little longer. And I know for you, you'd be like, oh, but what's the reason? Well, really the reason's because it would increase the revenue, which means we could kind of pay people more. Would you not be more interested in being part of that decision process?
Yeah, I would. I mean, we're I don't know. I guess, if you are involved in something, of course you understand it better and you want to make it work, but also put your input into the idea, not just listen and do something someone tells you to do.
Sometimes you'll see that companies will go and say, hey guys, what do you guys think about moving to this area? They've already made the decision. They're just getting people involved into the decision because they know that they feel better if they're part of it. Instead of being told what to do. Hey, guess what we decided? People don't have that connection there. So decisions, believe it or not, connect you to that ownership of that idea. Okay, so, and if you see figures that 4-2 organizational memory, experts to consult, kind of does a convergence with available resources and approved procedures. So, and in the middle is organizational memory. So let's go to our organizational memory in WhatsApp. Nurses know more than doctors is what Reina states. I'm thinking she may know a lot of nurses. But I agree. The doctors have a mind frame to fix the problem, whereas nurses seem to do a bit more evaluating of observation. That's definitely true. Mistakes can happen when there is miscommunication. That's right, Johan. And let's think about this. If one's thinking one model and the other one is thinking something else, you need communication, right? Because you got to kind of meet in the middle. So you'll see things like that. I work in oil and gas, and my clients and vendors are very diverse. I work with people from Saudi, Oman, Dubai, and even Colombians. And that's really cool, Brian. Diversity does come in. It's funny how oil brings all kinds of diversity too. So in me,
I work with the oil industry too, and yeah, that's true.
yeah, it absolutely does, right? That's funny. In Nigeria, it's big on oil too, by the way, guys. So I agree. It shows all members their opinion matters. So sometimes, Professor Puente, does involve you in the decision-making process. I do have to let you know that I take opinions and I make a decision, as opposed to, hey guys, let's make it a democratic system, because you know that classes don't really run that way, right? So I agree. It shows all members the opinion matters. That's what I'm hoping to show with the class. So objective 26, right? We go right to evolving from a group to a team. Did you know those two things were different?
Now that I've read this chapter, I guess I can see that, but I never really thought of them being different. I just, group projects, your team. Well, I guess, yeah, I didn't know they were different.
Yeah. It's funny because if you see the meaning of it in this objective, all it's stating is that a group is a congregation of people. You come together, but you're still 5 in that table. A team takes on an identity, and they start to create a purpose within that group. So it's like you said, there's a nurse. The nurse is needed. You need radiology. You need a physician. You need someone to take a payment up front. So that's now a team if you know how each other can work. But if you're not working together with each other, then you're just a group. And it's just, it has the purpose of doing something may not be needed. All right. So in the book says, if they do, the group is said to be functioning as a team. So people often form themselves into groups, but they may or may not work well together. That's really what it is. Victoria, I'm really hoping the Rockets are a team this playoff season because we really need it, right?
Right, yeah.
So now that makes sense, right? That's when they're like TEAM, right? Team. There's no I in team, all those things, right? How many times have you heard football teams, basketball teams, baseball teams say, I'm a group?
Never.
Not many, right? So that's exactly part of that chapter. And let's keep going. So that was important to understand. Expect socializing. During the first meetings, groups of people typically take time to get to know each other. There's some classes, live or online, that they just don't care to know who's in this group. They just absolutely don't. But most classes, believe it or not, the professor really pushes the hey, where are you from? Hey, where are you? So that way people connect, right? And in this case, you found out there's like 5 people in Livingston, right? So it connected you. It connects you socially with them. So what do you think about that? Do you think socializing is productive in a class?
Yes, definitely. Just because, why would you work hard with someone that you don't even know, who they are, what their name is? I mean, you work with people every day, but to, accomplish something and become a team, you do need to get to know the person and, figure out how they are and how they work.
And what's funny is this is the week, well, coincidentally, not necessarily, but this is the week you get to form a team. So you're kind of a group. You're going to be a group, and then let's see if you become a team. So encourage organizing and forming. So we're going to have this. We're going to organize and form. My idea is that I will make 4 assignments, right? The last one is for anyone not doing WhatsApp, because it's just going to be write, type, and maybe you will form a team doing it that way. But the other 3 are going to be assignment based, and you're going to sign up for it. Okay. And then you're going to form. Out of that formation, I'm going to choose the captains and I'm from those groups. And it's just kind of gave me an idea who's the one excited to kind of move things and at least give the nomination, right? And you'll form together and push the product. So that's what we're hoping to do. Number 2, facilitate information sharing and processing. After group members get acquainted, work out their pecking order. And isn't that a little bit of what I'm trying to do right now?
determine who is the leader, who, can ask questions, who,
exactly.
writes down, whatever.
That word leader is one word, I gotta tell you, Victoria, it's funny, I'm talking to a Victoria, that, which is a very big leader name. It's a word that it gets emphasized as in who tells me what to do. But with leadership and ownership, responsibility comes about, right? So it really is responsibility. Some people do a good job being a leader, and some people do not so great. So either way, the value that comes with it is to learn how to do this. And I'll tell you this: anyone out there that's in business that wants to do this entrepreneurship wise, I encourage always to be a leader, because that's what it is essentially. You're initiating things, right? And when you're giving something already, when it's kind of already planned out, that's a privilege, because it's like, I know how to do my job. But when you don't have an idea how to do your job, you're absolutely creating this order and everything else. So pecking order and assume roles. One thing I gotta stipulate, it's role leadership. Role. It may not be part of your book here, but it kind of goes assume roles. Role is just what you do for the team. Okay. A mother has a role in the team. The mother of usually, and it may be a little bit defined for certain cultures, is the person that brings the love. They say, the mom brings the love. Some people, in some cultures, the father brings the discipline, right? And do you know what they say about siblings?
They bring the annoying.
They say that they bring the pain. That's what the sibling brings, the pain, because it's like you learn your mom love, your dad discipline, and then the pain that comes with it from your siblings, right? So some people may think that's good or bad, but there's those roles that you see those roles, and that may make a person better or not. So that combination of those roles in a team environment, aka family, is synergy. And I have to explain synergy, Victoria. 1 + 1, it's 2. In synergy, 1 + 1 is 5. Does that kind of make sense a little more?
Yeah.
So you, Victoria, and someone else is 2 people.
Right.
If you have synergy, you and the work of someone else could be 5 people, because you work so well together. You see, they take from you what's needed. You both feel like you're not, at the end of the stick, like where someone's doing more work than the other,
Right, like giving 100%.
Exactly. So that's what synergy to me is, at least, is that together you make a bigger thing than it is, than it's the sum of its parts. So when 2 or more people work together to produce something greater than the sum of their individual efforts, that's really what synergy is. That word is so highly sought out in business, believe it or not. All the Synergy corporations, Synergy LLC.
And I was like, I think I know Synergy, like the company.
I'm the only child, so I don't know what it feels like to have a sibling. Betty, I have a sibling, so I think you kind of skipped that part, which doesn't sound bad. Johan says, sounds like energy, synergy. Yeah, I believe that's probably what's being put together, because you're creating more energy. Marriage is synergy, Carrie. It can be. It may not be as well. And if a marriage works perfectly and you 2 together create something bigger than yourself, I think that's the goal. Absolutely. When everyone collaborates, there's progress positive. That's right, Johan. Teams can make a bigger impact than one person alone. That's the key. Yes, that's the key. In fact, what the key of this whole thing happening is, hopefully, that even though you have a group, that synergy, that everybody works together, creates an even bigger group, even bigger work. So, okay, I just said. Carrie said, "Oh, I know, I'm divorced." Well, I'm sorry, Carrie, but you at least know the concept of synergy and marriage and family, by the way, and such. So it's just part of it. So absolutely part of it. Then we go to 27. Brainstorming. I think we know what brainstorming is, right?
Yes.
And when do you usually do brainstorming in your work? Do you guys have to?
Maybe not my field of work, because I don't really have to think of everything or anything to do. Maybe, like maybe if a patient does come in and they need a wheelchair or something, like one time I actually had to, we were like extremely busy and the nurses and doctors weren't available. And this poor old lady came in and I guess she hit her foot on something and she was bleeding through her shoe. So I had to brainstorm to think of like what to do. And I'm not qualified to do anything really. Okay. So I ended up having to like go get towels and wraps and things.
You did
so
it.
I guess that could be brainstorming.
Yeah, that was a good example. If anything, if one day you want to impress the people you work with, because you're working with different kinds of people, you tell them, hey, one day we make a decision group mind map, which is what happens if someone comes in and no one's there to help them. And then you can have that mind map and frame it and put it somewhere and they know what to do. So that's something, because the next one is called a group mind mapping. And all it is like a decision, and you kind of see, you know, these people do this, or this situation does that. If someone comes in with a broken arm and no one's there to help, imagine what you could do, you know, and exactly. And that kind of tells other people what would an unlicensed person can do if there's nobody. There has to be something, right?
I was like, at least like instead of bleeding on the floor, I'll go get her something.
You know, it's funny you say that, but one time I walked into one of those, I'm going to go unmentioned to which one I went to, and I had a kidney stone. And the lady looked at me in the eye and said, I don't know what to do. So I was like, okay, let me go to another ER or like an actual ER, because
I feel so bad for people with kidney stones that come in.
Oh, really? Because you guys can't do anything for them?
No, you can just, they give you like medication or something.
So you had to, that's all. It's so funny. The funny thing is they probably could have done that. So, but with that said, free writing is a form of brainstorming where group members focus on a subject and then write about it nonstop for a short period of time. So if right now, if I said, guys, what would be a great topic to write about for this project on decisions, right? Because somebody, guys, if you guys want to free write right now, give me ideas on the group project on decisions. All it is a situation where we have to come up with decisions. Free write it. And right now, probably some of you will free write and may help me with my assignment, right? But that's what it is. And that's called groupthink, and it's probably part of it. Journaling. People often think of creative ideas spontaneously and can easily forget them. That is very true. When have you come up with a great idea and you feel like you had to write down?
A poem.
A poem, okay.
I've actually, I like writing poems sometimes. I've made one for my dad for Father's Day. Oh. So it was just like I was in the car and I was just thinking and I was like, oh, I better like text myself or something. So
good.
I have to write it down. Or record myself. Or
record yourself or something. Believe it or not, business is the same way here. If you have a business idea that you're like, oh man, that's a great idea, write it down. Be afraid to lose the idea, because remember that it may just go away. And so journal it. That's what they're saying. Journal whatever idea you may have. So
I like Pinterest because you can just save it later.
That's true. You definitely can.
Yeah.
Selena says, repeat that. Of course. If you have an idea of a group assignment, remember, for the group project, type it now. Free write it according to your book. And what that means is, tell me. It's got to be a decision situation, a decision where you will need to come up with a decision. Let me give you an example. Last year, it was a virtual capitalist wanted to give $1 million to an application. What was the application? That was last year's work for their project. So, but that's it. And let me see what people are saying. Some of the best ideas come from multiple free writings put together in some ways. Yes, Carrie, you're talking about some Silicon Valley aspects. They do mind writing like this. They do free writing because it's all about creativity, innovation. Innovation's not easy to get taught. So that group think, that whole collective memory, that's a big deal right now, especially. So sorry, Amelia. This is really special. I lost my father in June. Oh, I'm sorry, Amelia. I'm very sorry about that. Sorry for your loss. I need a waterproof notepad for my shower. My best thoughts are always in the middle. Shampooing. That may be true, Carrie. There actually may be some studies that show that water is what gets the brain thinking. Did you know that? But you're by a lake, so you should know that.
Right, and yeah, when I'm on the jet ski and you see, yeah, it's beautiful, and you just think of, I don't know, just brainstorm.
Water. So, good way to think on your feet. I would have totally freaked out. I'm not in the medical field. Good job, Tania's saying. Good job.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for sharing that, Amelia. I'm so sorry that happened, and it's always very tough to lose somebody, and that's something that decision-wise you have to kind of come up with too as well. So let's see. Interesting water fact. Yeah. And by the way, I'm sorry, Marlon. It's not a no. Interesting water fact. Amelia, I'm sorry. It's not a fact. It's an opinion. Remember we talked about it last class. So last one. Call your ideas. The 3-pile method, which is a popular calling approach. Review each option and have the group vote on the idea, yes or no, or maybe. You know, it's like, hey, we got to come up with ideas. Let's put it on this little bucket and let's have people vote on it. As a yes, no. So guess what, guys? We're not going to have a project. We're just going to have another midterm. Mull it over. Give me a yes, no, or maybe. There you go. We just did the 3-pile method, right? I bet you people are going to put no more than anything. So identify the pros and cons. The objective is to have the group consider each option. So our topic has to be a situation in which we will have to make a decision. Yes, Selena, that's definitely true. Identify pros and cons. Have you ever done a pros and cons kind of a chart?
Yeah, ex-boyfriend.
You did a pros and cons on an ex-boyfriend. Wow, that's
in my head.
But that's pretty good. I mean, you used the actual decisions theory. That's amazing.
I feel like everyone does that, though. Is that not normal?
Well, you did something innately. That's amazing. That's very good. I just learned about pros and cons from the chapter myself, but there you go.
The first thing that came to my head, but I'm sure I've done other pros and cons for other things.
You want to know something? What you just said actually is true. There's some things that you like naturally, obviously came up with. But believe it or not, this is stuff that even though it sounds so common for you, people just didn't know back then. They just didn't know the pros and cons. And you kind of just add the pros and subtract the cons, and that's it. But you had a procedure to make a decision. Good job. Absolutely. For your ex-boyfriend's cause, I think it may have been cons more than anything, right?
Probably, yeah.
Probably not, right? So perform a cost-benefit analysis. So another way to make decisions is a decisions balance sheet, a formal way of organizing ideas, costs, and benefits. So your gains and your losses. It's kind of like a pros and cons, but you're saying, what do I gain with this decision, or what do I lose with this decision? And next time, the only thing I'm going to ask you, I mean, whether it's boyfriend or business related, is that you write it down. You actually write it down. You'll be very surprised that even you'll feel silly writing it down. But then at the end of that, you'll be like, whoa, but I completely forgot that little part of it.
Yeah.
You know, or that little part of it. And then you're just totally different on your decision. So a decision balance sheet, it's kind of like pros and cons, but it's about gains and losses. And create an impact analysis. It is easy to consider ideas, opinions, and potential solutions by themselves and not consider other related factors. Use an impact analysis. All it is right here on Figure-6, business travel services, increase customers, expand tours, and how does that impact something else? And how does that impact something else, right? So in this case, how does it impact to have groups or have a midterm? And how does that midterm impact the class? And look, it's so funny. Nobody even actually mentioned the what's it called? 3-pile method yet. The 3-pile method yet. So Well, and that's it. That's objective. Oh, one more thing. Use reverse brainstorming. Do you have an idea what that is?
Basically presenting an idea and then determining the weaknesses and problems with it, and then so seeing what you should do with it. You
could get a team to make a brainstorm, and then you make a team to get rid of the ideas. And it's like to criticize that team. We're like, oh, well, you really? And it's so funny because the brainstorm is like, think of everything. And they put some silly ideas up top, and then the other team just, no, that was, and they're like left with one.
Finds everything wrong with everything.
Finds everything wrong with everything. So there you go. So that's it. So the class is now just laughing on their icons. I guess what happened that is so funny. I guess, I don't know. It was just laugh. Maybe something I said. I haven't done the chart. I think they're laughing at the ex-boyfriend thing. That's what it is. I haven't done a chart, but I do pros and cons of making a new furniture purchase in a house shared by other roommates. Good job, Johan. You definitely should do the same thing for cars and definitely for houses, guys. That's a big purchase. So this is my topic. What would you do if you were pregnant or wife girlfriend was pregnant and you learn that the baby has a disease that will cause the baby to suffer a lot when it is born? Would you go through and hope for the best, or you terminate pregnancy? Wow, Selena, that was a very sorry, I love that. That was a very, very how do I say this? What's the word? Difficult decision. So yes, with that, Selena, I would definitely do a pros and cons statement. And believe it or not, you will bring the values, the absolute values with what you're thinking of. So I don't know, we'll use it for the project. But good point, good point. Important to have a decision balance sheet in order to help your decisions, yes. Her pros and cons on the X was good. I've done that and it helps. Hey, not the only one. You know what's the irony, Victoria?
What's that?
That I don't know a single guy that would do that.
Really?
Yep. So I'm thinking that just women use decisions theory to make the decisions, and you know what guys do? Go with the gut. That's absolutely
like shopping for just anything other than cars and houses. I mean, you do that on a daily basis. The pros and cons of shopping at the grocery store, or clothing, and
well, there you go. I think that maybe innately women use decisions theory a little better. Look at that. Maybe I'm being wrong. Maybe I made a judgment too easy. All the other guys should tell me something about that. This is a difficult topic. Yes, Brian, that would be a difficult one. But thank you for bringing it up, Selena. Reasons why women are smarter than boys. Selena, I think that in my personal opinion, women may be smarter than guys. The only thing women don't have so much as guys is guys are really good with team. Like, man, team is innate for us. We know how to make a group, how to back each other up. I don't know if women have that, honestly. They will, but it's not sisterhood. It's very different. It's a little harder to put together. Some, in cases, they do very well. Absolutely very well. You know, so again, those are all just generalizations. So, but what do you guys think? You let me know. Deep question, Selena. I agree. I can't live with us and can't live without us. Alrighty, guys. That's absolutely it. We've talked about it. I think I made my decision through this, by the way, guys. What we're going to do is tomorrow, you'll have 2 weeks to handle it. 2 weeks. The quiz questions, however, I do need those at least by, I'm going to give it a longer time. I'm going to give it, say, Friday at 9 p.m. I do need the quiz. Those who don't turn in the quiz questions by Friday at 9 a.m., have to do the quiz. So please remember to submit the quiz questions, and they will be chosen. The quiz questions, we'll choose them, we'll put them up, and then you'll help me with the decision on who has the best discussion. And then that's it. This week, I'm giving you 2 weeks on this module because this week will also be makeup model. In fact, those 2 weeks will be makeup. No, I'm sorry. I have to make it this week because I have to have the grades by the end of that. So this week, makeup module where you can go and turn in your assignment, and that's it. Any questions, guys, overall that you guys have over this? Friday questions due Friday 9 a.m. Exactly. Yes. Send questions to you. So send questions to me. Direct to me, Carrie, please. And I think that's about all the questions. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.